Hi guys! I know a lot of you girls out there desire for a flawless complexion. Well, actually, a lot of you girls, we already have flawless complexion, so you can just sit back and relax and just watch me wave my arms around. But for you girls who are just starting to use makeup and probably have no idea what foundation is for, here is what this video is going to be about. Everything you need to know about foundation. It doesn't matter if you're pale or you're tanned, you're light skin or dark skin, everyone has multiple tones in their skin. So whether you have a slightly darker forehead and then you have paler cheeks, or maybe your neck is different color to your face, whatever it is, we have multiple tones in our complexion, and it's totally normal. So what is the right foundation for you? We have liquid, cream, stick foundation, and powder foundation, and these are four most common forms of foundations you can find on the market. Let's first talk about liquid foundations. That is probably the most common one, and it suits basically all skin types, whether you are dry skin, normal skin, oily skin, or combination. And liquid foundations come in various type of finish as well. You get the satin finish, matte finish, dewy finish, like all sorts as well. And then you have the cream foundation. Cream foundations are pretty much like the liquid, but obviously in a thicker texture. So they usually come in a little compact, or maybe like a jar, or sometimes you can actually get them in a pump as well. So with cream foundations, a lot of the times people with dry skin, normal to dry skin, will prefer cream foundations because it's a lot more hydrating, and because it is more thicker and denser, the coverage can be higher, as well as the moisturizing properties in the actual foundations. And then we have the stick foundation. Like I said, is usually found in like high-end professional brand makeup. So like I think Makeup Forever does one, MAC does one as well, and it's quite rare. Tom Ford does one as well. Basically what it is, a stick foundation similar to the one I've mentioned in my concealer video. It's basically you need to warm the product in your hands or with heat in order for it to apply smoothly onto the skin. So I guess it's great for people who have really oily skin, because your skin's already quite moisturized and oily to begin with, so the stick will actually meld very nicely onto your skin. Applying stick on dry skin will just show the dry flaky patches more obvious, and I would not recommend that unless it's a really well done stick foundation. Professional makeup brands will do them to give you more of a professional finish. So especially in photography and filming, they use a lot of stick foundations. Stick foundations are actually kind of fading out. They used to be really popular back in the 70s. 60s to 70s, but now that liquids and cream foundations are taking over the market pretty much. Last but not least, I'll talk about the powder foundation. The powder foundation is probably the oily skin's best friend. Obviously, being it's powder, it's a lot more mattifying. However, you do find a lot of moisturizing powders now on the market as well. So if you do have dry skin, you can use a finishing powder to set the foundation that you already have on. But if you have extremely dry skin, using powder can actually accentuate the lines or the dryness of your skin. Powders basically for me is like a must-have. Even if I'm using a liquid foundation, I'll also use a powder one on top just to set everything. Now I want to talk about the different tones in our skin. I know there's a lot of videos out there that tell you whether you're like a red base or a yellow base or a neutral base. Let me tell you this, your skin is impossible to be just one shade, so you can't really determine yourself to be red base or yellow base or neutral base unless you have like predominantly large amounts of that pigment in your skin. The best way to determine what type of skin you are, I think what you should do is, this might sound really weird, but like either wear all black or all white. I prefer all white, and then have no makeup on, tie your hair back, and literally just stand in front of the window with natural sunlight and just look at yourself in the mirror and just really study your face. If your skin is predominantly pink overall, then you obviously have a pink undertone. If your skin is predominantly yellow overall, then obviously you have a yellow skin tone. Once you determine what tone you have, it doesn't mean that because you are pink base skin tone, you are going to go only for pink based skin tone foundations. Because think about it this way, if you are already very pink toned, why would you want to make yourself more pink toned? So you will try to go for a neutral or yellow base. So for me, usually when I apply any foundation onto my skin, to start off with, the color may appear 1 to 2 shades lighter than how I'd imagine it would be. However, 20 to 30 minutes later after applying it and in contact with the natural oils on my skin and the hormones, it changes to match my skin better. The quickest way to determine whether a foundation match color for your skin type immediately is to check the color under sunlight. For example, if you're in a department store or in a bathroom, they usually use neon lights, which has a blue or purplish undertone. For example, if you go into a cafe or a restaurant, they use a lot of dim lights, which contains a lot of yellow to orange undertones. Once you come out of those lighting, in natural lighting, you'll look completely different. Go into the department store or the counter and try on the foundation that you like, and then see how it wears 2 to 3 hours later. Sometimes by midday, you can realize the shade is 3 shades darker than you had imagined, so you know the color is incorrect. So now that I've told you everything about foundation, here are some tips on what to avoid when using foundation. Number 1 is always try to blend the foundation over past your jawline. So try to blend down to your neck, because we do not want to see this harsh line here. I know a lot of people just forget about their neck, but it's actually really important. And even just that little bit of like using a sponge just to drag the color just a little like down further, it makes such a big difference. You know, like you will thank me later. I know some of you girls out there want to look tanner in the summer, so you get a foundation that's like 5 shades darker than you are. I know a lot of Asian girls who want to look paler, so they get the lightest foundation they can find on the market, and it's like literally 6 shades lighter than they actually are. Try to avoid doing that because it's so obvious and you're not really creating the effect that you want. Another thing is never cake on makeup, so don't overuse it. Like, the foundation is designed to be applied on with like 1 or 2 layers maximum. It's not to use a whole bottle on your face and hoping that it covers you know, whatever you're trying to cover. That's not how it works. And when you do cake on the foundation, you can see it because it starts to crack, and then you don't want your face to crack during dinner. That's not very pleasant. Do not ever sleep with the foundation on. Foundation is like a mask that you put over your face temporarily for the day. So if you don't wash it off, it will clog your pores, and then your skin will start to break out because it hates being clogged. This is also very important. Don't use expired foundation. I know this is like very like duh, but like a lot of you guys don't realize that sometimes the foundations expire, and especially exposed to direct sunlight, or in summer you must have left your foundation in the car and it starts to heat up. You decide to use it again after 3 years. Don't do that, because when foundations go off and you apply onto your skin, it will also cause problems. So how to find out when your foundations expire? Usually some bottles will have it on the side. It tells you, you know, in plain sight, expiry date 0315 or 0416, whatever the date is on there, it will tell you when it expires. Otherwise, some packagings, they have basically either like a bottle or a little cap, and it says 12 month or 6 month or 18 month or whatever it is, then the number of time on there. What it means that once it's been opened, that's how many months it lasts. So sometimes you have to remember when you've opened it or when you start using it. Usually cosmetics have a shelf life of 3 years, and once they've opened, they generally last at most 3 years. So 6 years altogether. That's really stretching it, because a lot of liquid foundations, especially the ones that you use on contact to your skin on a daily basis, usually 6 to 12 months is like, that's kind of like the majority of all products. Going more than 12 months is kind of like pushing it. So I hope this is really helpful, and remember, if it is, help me share this with your friends. I know a lot of you guys out there have a lot of questions about foundations and why do we use it, how do we use it, what does it do, and all that stuff, and I hope this video answered all your questions. Anyways, leave your comment below if you have any more other questions, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!